post-war Italy was a nation rushing to rebuild its industries, and out of that momentum came a deep national obsession with high-performance machines. At the center of Italian automotive culture sat Enzo Ferrari. He was the undisputed authority on speed, driven by an uncompromising obsession with the racetrack. Enzo viewed road cars simply as a way to fund his racing team. To him, a sports car was raw, loud, and built solely to go fast. Driver comfort wasn't even an afterthought. It was entirely ignored. Hundreds of miles from the track, Ferruccio Lamborghini was building a totally different kind of empire. He was an industrialist who made his fortune manufacturing heavy, robust tractors for the country's agricultural revival. Enzo designed machines to cross a finish line first, no matter how temperamental they were. Ferruccio designed tools that farmers relied on every single day, which required absolute mechanical reliability. As Ferruccio's wealth grew, he indulged his passion for automobiles by buying several of Ferrari's cars, and that is exactly where these two highly incompatible worldviews collided. As Ferruccio drove his new Grand Tours, he kept running into mechanical issues. The clutches on the Ferraris were notoriously unreliable, requiring constant, expensive replacements. To Ferruccio, this was unacceptable engineering. He believed that paying a premium for extreme power shouldn't require the driver to put up with terrible daily usability, frequent expensive repairs, and an unrefined ride. He took his complaints straight to Maranello, securing a direct meeting with Enzo Ferrari himself, intending to offer constructive, engineering-based advice on how to improve the drivetrain. Enzo looked at the industrialist standing in his office and completely dismissed him, telling him, "You are just a tractor maker. You don't understand Ferrari." Ferruccio didn't argue. He left the room and immediately set out to build a car that would challenge Ferrari as the world's premier performance manufacturer. In 1963, driven entirely by spite, he established Automobili Lamborghini, and to make sure Enzo got the message, he built his massive new factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese, practically in Ferrari's backyard. Within months, he rolled out his first major production vehicle, the 350 GT. It was engineered specifically to solve every frustration he experienced as a Ferrari owner. It featured a vastly smoother drivetrain, heavily upgraded interior ergonomics, and a suspension tuned for comfort, allowing a driver to actually enjoy a long road trip. This represented a direct challenge to the Italian racing elite. Ferruccio was proving that a driver could have world-class speed without sitting in a deafening, vibrating metal box. The 350 GT sold well enough to validate his approach. The global market realized that a high-performance car could actually be a polished, refined product, breaking Ferrari's rigid blueprint for speed. The 1966 debut of the Miura shattered the status quo of automotive engineering by introducing an architecture the industry had previously reserved for the racetrack. This diagram illustrates the Miura's massive technical innovation, the transverse mid-engine layout. Instead of mounting a heavy V12 engine beneath the front hood, Lamborghini engineers rotated it sideways, or transverse, and stuffed it right behind the driver's seat. By pulling all that mechanical mass away from the nose and placing it squarely in the middle of the chassis, the car's center of gravity shifted. This dramatically improved its balance, allowing it to corner with much greater stability at high speeds. With the engine gone from the front, the designers were free to drop the nose of the car toward the pavement. This created the incredibly low, aggressive wedge shape that defines modern performance vehicles. The Miura's global success shifted the public's view of Lamborghini from a newcomer seeking revenge to an innovator setting a new industry standard. Every competitor looked at the Miura and realized their front-engine cars were obsolete. The standard architecture for elite sports cars was permanently redrawn. Even Enzo Ferrari, who famously believed the horse should pull the cart, not push it, was eventually forced to abandon his stubbornness and to develop his own mid-engine road cars just to keep up. This logic tree maps how one rivalry fractured the market into two identities. On the left branch, Ferrari maintained an uncompromising track-focused philosophy and authentic racing heritage. On the right branch, Lamborghini doubled down on road-focused origins, dedicated to avant-garde design and everyday usability. A single, arrogant insult in the 1960s ultimately dictated the engineering priorities and design language of the global supercar market for the next 60 years.